Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Payton, and if you're not, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to share with you guys some memories from a trip that I was able to take about a year ago, almost exactly. So this time last year I was really excited and really blessed to have the opportunity to travel out west with my family on a 2-week family vacation. It was really exciting because with everything that's going on, my dad working a lot, my mom and my brother and sister going and visiting family, and school with sports doing their own thing, and then me graduating high school, going off to college, and my job and internships and all the other extracurricular stuff that I'm involved in, we always seem to be on the go and yet very rarely going in the same direction. So it was really exciting to have 2 weeks of unstoppable, unfiltered, totally committed, just family time. And it was definitely an adjustment. I don't think we've spent that much time together in a long time and probably haven't spent that much time together since. But it was much needed, much appreciated, and we really just had a blast. We started out our journey in Salt Lake City, Utah, and our time in Utah is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. We only spent about a day and a half there, so it wasn't very long, but we still had a lot of fun, saw some pretty neat stuff, and made some memories for sure. So let's jump right into it.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Blue sky.
My best friend Savannah was very kind and offered to drive my family and I to the airport. She dropped us off, and as weird as it sounds and as trivial as it sounds, it was so weird to be in the airport with my family. We travel a lot. We have family all over. Like I said, we're all constantly on the go. And yet it seems like it's been probably almost 4 years since we all traveled together, going to the same place in the same planes at the same time. And even though traveling and flying is something we're very much used to, it was weird to be back in that family dynamic, all traveling as a group. But it was a lot of fun. There you go. Have you guys touched that side of the plane? Huh? You guys touched that side of the plane. Not to mention, not a single person in my family has ever met a stranger, so we're always finding new people to talk to and chat with. So Ella and Colton were making friends with their neighbors on the planes and coloring and having a good time with everybody around them. As we were flying down over Salt Lake City, you could just see the salt lake that went on for what seemed like miles and miles and miles. It was so unique and almost had a marshy look to it from the airplane window. And then there were these beautiful snow-capped mountains, and there was not a single tree in sight, which is so weird for a girl like me coming from South Carolina, where there is nothing but pine trees for miles and miles and miles, to see just this vast open expanse of beautiful lands. It was really incredible and unlike anything I have ever experienced. We got out of the airport pretty late. We had some trouble getting our rental car, We were all really exhausted after flying all day, but Ella and Colton, who think everything is just an incredible adventure, were stoked to see our rental car. It had 2 sunroofs. They could not be more excited. So we all packed up the car, hopped in, and headed for our hotel. Ella, Colton, and I'm not even going to lie, me too, were hanging out the double sunroofs, out the windows, just having a grand old time, excited for what was to come next. We had a pretty early morning the next day. We all had breakfast at the hotel.
Banana? Dad's gonna eat a banana.
Dad does eat fruit. It's okay.
Dad, can you give me a banana?
How do you feel about your first day in Utah?
Not bad.
You excited?
I am. I like the news.
About what?
How do you feel about your first day in Utah?
I feel that I'm hungry.
Then we set out to go see the Salt Lake. We hopped out of the car, and as you walked down the path to the little beach area, it just opened up in front of you, and it was just there. It was the Salt Lake. It went on for miles and miles and miles, and it was a very unique kind of beautiful. The beach didn't really have sand. It was very rocky, and it was all dark colored sandy rockiness, and there were little almost tidal pools all around, with the most beautiful rocks. There were places where people had stacked rocks on top of one another and built cute little sculptures. There were people climbing on rocks everywhere. We were climbing on rocks everywhere. Colton decided he was going to start a rock skipping competition, and we had a really great time just exploring around. The weirdest thing probably was having to remind myself that it was not in fact the ocean, because with the wind blowing, the water was moving quite a lot, and there was definitely a saltiness to the air. It was a beautiful sight in a way that you wouldn't normally expect something to be beautiful. It just was. Between the sun on the water, the beautiful blue sky, and the snow-capped mountains in the distance, it really was just, it was beautiful. If you fall, I'm gonna laugh. Did you taste it? Shh. Imagine that.
Dad, what does that like?
Sorry. After Lord knows how long of us climbing around on rocks and taking pictures and having fun and just playing by the lake, we decided to hit the next leg of our journey, but we couldn't do that before we tasted the salt water. I know it probably sounds gross, and it probably was not the most hygienic or best filtered water, but I mean, if it's the Salt Lake, you gotta taste it. It seemed like a bucket list thing to do, so I made everybody in my family stick their hands in that nasty water and try it, just to prove that it's salty, because, I don't know, it seemed like the thing to do, and I figured it'd make a good shot for the video. After we left the Salt Lake Marina, we drove for hours and hours and hours to our next destination that I'll talk more about in my next video. But along the way, it was the most beautiful scenery. We saw these ginormous wind turbines, windmill situations, and I've never seen them on that scale. They were truly massive, like the size of a house, but it was so unique and so cool to get to see that. After after driving along for quite a while, and keep in mind there are like a bajillion miles in between anything out there, which was a new experience for me because, I mean, I live in the middle of what I would call nowhere. It's about 15 to 20 minutes either way to get to a town. And people say I live in the middle of nowhere. These people really do be living in the middle of nowhere. It was, you know, could be hundreds of miles between two towns. It was insane, so it's not like you could just stop off at a gas station and grab a snack or go to the bathroom. It was just nothingness, which was kind of refreshing, honestly. But not long into our journey, we were all getting a little hungry, needing a little munchies, and we saw this stand out of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere. There was this stand where this nice gentleman was selling jerky. I'm not going to say beef jerky because he had all kinds of jerky. He had buffalo jerky, elk jerky, caribou jerky, deer jerky, mule deer jerky, any type of jerky or marinated dehydrated meat you could possibly want, this gentleman had. And my family, we're big meat eaters. Sorry if that offends you, but we love some good jerky. We love good summer sausage, and my eyes narrowed down. I'm all about a roadside stand. If you know me at all, I have to stop at just about every roadside stand. I firmly believe that they have the best things ever, whether it be pecan pralines, shout out to Helen, Georgia, or peaches on the side of the road, or somebody selling watermelon. If it comes from the side of the road, I just firmly believe that it's better. So I bullied my dad into pulling over, and this man was chopping up all different kinds of jerky, being so generous, letting us try it, talking to us about the area. As soon as we open our mouths, it's very clear that we are not local, no matter where we go, because of our thick southern accents. But he was very kind, and we ended up buying several packs of jerky. And every single person in my family loved it, which is hard to do because my dad and my sister are so picky. But we bought several things, and we're snacking on that for a good hot minute.
Is it good? Very good.
You like it?
Little discovery. Stop and get you some jerky. Later, I say a little while, it was several hours. We were on this just stretch of road forever. We were all needing to stretch our legs, and we came across this giant pasture with the mountains in the background, and it really was kind of picture perfect. So after finishing what felt like our million-mile drive across the entire state of Utah, we ended our day in Moab, where we were able to go and visit Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park, which is what I'll be talking about in my next video. But until then, thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and watching all the way through. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out another video next week. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.